Hello, second grade. This is Mr. Houston's computer special. How are you? This is going to be our third lesson of digital citizenship, right? And I've talked about what digital citizenship is, how we're all digital citizens. You guys are, your parents, I am, because we use a device to get on the internet and interact with other people. So we are all digital citizens. So today we are going to do our third lesson, and this lesson is called That's Private. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. What kinds of information should I keep to myself when I use the internet? That's going to be what we talk about today. The kinds of information you should keep to yourself. So what kinds of things should we not tell a stranger? All right, and this is where I would tell you that this is what you should use: common sense. The problem is that we don't always think before we do things. And one of the key things in digital citizenship is me teaching you to pause so that you give yourself time to think. We shouldn't tell strangers things like our full name, our phone number, our address, right? It's important for you to keep certain information about yourself, like your address and phone number, private from strangers. Private is something that you should keep to yourself, right? It should only be shared with people you trust, like your parents, like your teacher. Private information is often connected to a specific person, right? Like no two people in our class have the same full name or the same phone number. So the idea here is that normally at your guy's house with your family, you have the right to expect what's called privacy, right? When you're in the bathroom, in your bedroom, unless you share your bedroom, you have a right to some privacy. The problem is on the internet, you can't expect privacy. So there's certain things, certain personal information that has to do with you that should be kept secret, that should not be shared. And remember, certain secrets doesn't necessarily mean that a secret is something bad. It means it's things that not everyone should know. So let's talk a little bit here about the kind of information that should be kept private, right? So since we can't do this together, where you come up with it, we're just going to do it together here and talk about it. So some things that should be kept private: your picture. You don't want everybody in the whole wide world to know what you look like. Your full name, your age, your birthday, your address, your telephone number, your email address, your passwords to your accounts, where you go to school or where you go after you leave the school, your parents' full names, where your parents work, your parents' credit card or bank account numbers. Those are all things that are personal information, private information. Now, is it different if the school knows those things or your teachers know some of those things? Yes, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about complete strangers or putting this information out there on the internet for millions of people to potentially see. We want to be careful putting things online, right? So we have a computer, a phone, a tablet, some kind of device where we're on a website or an app. Because once we put things online, I like to think of secrets as like a balloon, right? When you're holding the balloon, you kind of can control it. But if it slips out of your hand, it's gone. That balloon is not coming back to you. And it's the same way if certain secrets get on the internet, if they get out online, you don't have control of them anymore, right? Why do you think Why do you think it's important to keep this kind of information we just talked about private? Well, it's never safe to give out private information to people you don't know. Never. Because it could be used to trick you. It could be used to put you in sort of in any unsafe situation. You should always ask a parent, a guardian, your grandparents before you give out private information to anyone. And this also applies to people you don't know in real life, in physical life, like when you see in person, and it applies just the same when you are online, right? So how is sharing private information online the same as telling it to a stranger in person? Well, when you share information online, it can be viewed by people you don't know, right? We don't know how many people, when you share it online, are going to see something, or how long it's going to get passed around or saved. So we have to be very, very careful. So let's play a quick game of thumbs up, thumbs down to make sure we know what is considered private information and what isn't. So for each example I give, I want you to think about if it's okay to share, that's a thumbs up, or if it's something that you should keep private and shouldn't share with a stranger, that's a thumbs down, right? How about your favorite ice cream flavor? Nothing gonna hurt if you share your favorite ice cream flavor, right? That's not personal information. How about what you ate for dinner last night? That's fine. Now, where it gets a little tricky is what if you put online where you are going for dinner? Then that's different, right? Because now you're telling people that you don't know where you're going to be, and that's not okay. How about your home address? Sharing that online? That's a thumbs down. How about your best friend's favorite movie? That's okay. That's a thumbs up. How about your mom's phone number? Sharing that online? Nope, that's a thumbs down. Any of your passwords? Definite thumbs down. Right? Definite thumbs down. Okay, there is a new app called SongTube that allows you to create your own music. Guts, one of the digital citizens, has permission to use the app, but he's being asked to fill out a form first. So Guts needs your help in figuring out what's okay to share. As you review the form, complete the sections that don't ask for private information and draw an X through the sections that do ask for private information. So I would be giving you this assignment through Google Doc, but I don't think I'm going to. Let me think about it. I'll decide whether or not I want to put it with this video or not. But in this example form, it would ask you to decide what's personal and what should be shared and what shouldn't. Okay? All right. So today we talked about what information is private and why we shouldn't share it online. Now let's reflect on what we learned. First, I'd like you to think about what is private information and what isn't. And if you had a friend share something that they think is private with you, is that the kind of thing you would go tell everybody else? No, right? Things that are secrets should stay secrets. And we want to be careful when we're online that we don't share secrets, just like we wouldn't when we are in the real world. Okay? So this is the end of today's lesson, our third lesson on digital citizenship.